everybody, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. As you guys can tell from the title, this is an exciting video about something that I did a few weeks ago. You read the title. I got my first tattoo 3 weeks ago. No, this is not clickbait. I actually did it. I got a tattoo. It's really crazy and weird to say, and like sometimes I still forget it's there, even though I just got it. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, that's there forever. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering what I got, and if you don't follow me on Twitter or other social media, you may not have known. So I just thought I would sit down and make a video about my experience, where I got it, why I got it, what it is, the planning for it, and all that jazz. I like to document big kind of life decisions like this on my channel, and I did hint at it actually at a video over the summer that I'd be doing this at the end of the summer, so didn't want to leave y'all hanging. I thought I would make a video about it. So without further ado, let's just get into it. I should start by explaining what the tattoo is, because that's the premise for the video. So the tattoo that I got for my first tattoo was I got a little evergreen tree on my right ankle. It's kind of hard to show. It's not like it's on my arm and I can just throw it up at you. So I'm gonna be putting a picture of what it looks like on the screen. I'm gonna be putting some photos up as I talk. This is actually the design that I brought in and showed the tattoo artist when I got to the shop. Put that right here for you guys. And it was just a sketched out, you know, drawing of an evergreen tree that I found on Pinterest. And I also had a few other similar tattoos of evergreen trees that I also was gonna show the artist, being like, here's a drawing, here are examples of the style I kind of wanted in, and then what's your expertise, you know? So before we get into the experience, I'm just gonna throw it back and talk a little bit about the origin of this tattoo, why I wanted it, and how long I've been planning on getting it. So this was something that I pondered in my head of getting for the last 3 years, actually. I thought about really getting it fall of 2018. Like, not that I was gonna go and get it that time, but I started pondering the idea of it my freshman year of college. If you guys didn't know, I'm now a senior. I'm in fall of my senior year. So it's been 3 years, and I just want to go off and saying I'm a very indecisive person. I really never thought that I'd get a tattoo, just because unlike piercings, like, you know, it's permanent, and it's not like I grew up having all these tattoo ideas in my head, being like, yeah, when I turn 18, I'm gonna get all these tattoos. I got all these plans. I was not that kind of person. I'm still not. I still don't have like many other ideas of future tattoos at all, and I don't even know if I'm gonna get any more. Who knows? But this idea came to mind because if you guys didn't know, don't know why you wouldn't, but my favorite band is Knuckle Puck. They've been my favorite band for many, many years now, and they have a song called Evergreen. Spoiler alert, it's my outro song, and it was my intro song for a very long time as well, except it kept getting copyrighted, so I had to change the intro. But if you're wondering what the outro music of my videos is from, it's from Evergreen by Knuckle Puck, from their album Copacetic, which is my favorite album by them. And this song just means so much to me. It's stuck with me for so many years. I discovered Knuckle Puck when I was 16, you know, I'm 21 now, and that song has just really stuck with me over the years. Knuckle Puck are from Chicago, and growing up, like being a teen, you know, I was really dreaming of moving here, and a lot of it talks about walking around on like the concrete streets and like in the city and kind of finding yourself. The song is really about finding yourself and growing up, and so I really resonated with it. Literally, my senior quote was from the song. My senior quote was, "You grew from a seed, forever strong as a pine tree, always an evergreen." You know, Knuckle Puck, like that was my senior quote. I told the members of the band in 2018 that that was my quote and how much that song meant to me. So this has been something that has been very near and dear to my heart for many years now. And I think that was why I started pondering the idea of it in 2018, because I was like, well, I'm in college now. Like, I got my nose pierced in 2018. So, you know, I was like delving into more body mods, you could say, I suppose. And I was just like, if I ever got a tattoo, what would I get? It'd be really cute to get a little evergreen tree somewhere to symbolize a few things. So I actually want to read to you guys what I wrote in 2018, because I found a note on my phone the day after I got my tattoo, and I was like, what's this? And I was like, oh my god, it was literally me writing down my thoughts of why I wanted to get this tattoo, and it's literally dated in November of 2018. I'm gonna put it up on the screen here, but I'm also gonna read it to you guys. This is what I wrote 3 years ago. I thought about the possibility of getting a little evergreen tree somewhere, which would mean a bunch of different things to me. My senior quote was, "I grew from a seed, forever strong as a pine tree, always an evergreen," which is from the song Evergreen by my favorite band. So it would tie meaning to them, and the fact that it kind of reminds me of how much I've grown, and I kind of see all the branches coming off the tree as all my different interests and personality traits, and how as I continue to live and grow, I develop new interests and learn new things, as well as the fact that I've always been an environmental advocate since I was super young. So that's what I wrote 3 years ago. I don't really still think about it as like the branches, personality. It's a tiny tattoo, so like I don't think that much into it. But that's what I wrote 3 years ago. And I think in my head I was like, you know, if I still like this a few years down the line, maybe I'll get it. And yes, 3 years later, and I was like, let's do it. So what made me decide to do it this year is that, as a lot of you guys know, my best friend Vama flew into Chicago to see the city for the first time. We spent a weekend together here, a little over a weekend, long weekend. And one of the things we talked about doing were getting tattoos together, because she already has 4, I believe. So she's already gone through it, but I haven't. And I thought it'd be fun to get one when she's here, because, you know, she's experienced, she'd be able to help me through the process, be there for me. I'd have someone for moral support. And she's like really the only good friend I have that has tattoos. I mean, I know people that have tattoos, but like having her there would be really special for my first one. So we were planning on both getting tattooed. So we were looking up shops in Chicago. I was doing all these Yelp reviews, making sure we would pick a good shop. And I picked one, I found one that was really good for first timers, which is perfect for me, right? So that was really what made me kind of like, you know, put the foot on the gas pedal and say, okay, let's do this. You know, it's 3 years later, I still love this idea. And even more so, like I mentioned in the note, I've been an environmental advocate since I was really, really young. I was the girl in 5th grade yelling at other students for using plastic cups. Like I was in the recycling club. Like the environment means very much to me. My minor is in environmental action and leadership. One of my jobs that I have is about being plant-based. As some of you guys might know, I've turned into, you know, an advocate for the plant-based lifestyle and plant-based eating, and I'm very, very passionate about the environment. So having a tree on me is also like a perfect symbol of that. So there's just so many things this tattoo, you know, means and reflects. Mainly the tattoo is for Knuckle Puck, and, you know, for the song Evergreen and how much that song means to me, and just to remind me to never stop growing as a person, because that is the true message of that song, and that's why I liked it as the senior quote. I want to keep blossoming and growing throughout my entire life. So that's, you know, the main big meaning, and then the second main big meaning would just have to be with the environment, which I've always felt very connected to, and it's always been a big part of my personality. So back to our plan. So I found the shop. I went to Great Lakes Tattoo, which is on Grand. It's on like, not really the west side of Chicago, but it's, you get on the Grand bus and you head west, but it's probably near like River North if you're interested, if you know where that is. If you're not from Chicago, ignore what I just said. But yeah, it's called Great Lakes Tattoo, and we didn't make an appointment. We saw they were doing walk-ins, so we got there right when the shop opened, around like, you know, noon, 12:10 or so. And they told us it would be an hour wait, but I sent the photo of the evergreen tree, told them what I wanted done, and then they were like, it'll be about an hour, hour and a half. You guys can go like take a walk, get a coffee, whatever. So I went to Starbucks. I calmed myself down. I did film 2 vlog clips for you guys. I wish I filmed more, but it was my first time. I was nervous, but I'm gonna throw in the first vlog clip real quick of just some things I was saying as we were about to go to the tattoo shop and walking in. This is our little mini tattoo vlog.
Yes.
We're almost here. I'm a little nervy.
Oh my gosh.
So yes, the excitement was in the air. I was very, very excited, and I think having that hour to kind of like settle myself, we took a walk, we got some water, I got a drink, like I think that actually helped me, because when we got back, I was nervous, but I wasn't like freaking out or anything. So the guy who tattooed me, his name is Matt Zioko. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I'll put his name on the screen here, and also the name of the shop in case any of you guys are interested. I know people do that. He was amazing. He like knew how to handle a first timer very, very well. What they ended up doing was going with that drawing that I showed you guys earlier, this one, of the drawing of the evergreen, not like an exact copy of another tattoo, which I actually kind of liked. So he put the stencil on me. It was hard to kind of know how big it was gonna be. I was like, I want it on my ankle. I want it, I don't know, you know, somewhere in this range of you know, size. And he was like, okay, so like 2-3 inches. And I was like, yeah, that works. And I I said, you know, if it is too tiny and you have to like cut off a few branches, it doesn't have to be the exact same as the drawing that I showed, you know, just to try to make it easier for them. You know, the artists know what will work the best and I don't. So I trusted him, and the exact picture I showed was basically a copy of the stencil. It was perfect. It was the perfect size. And so we cut it out, and he had me stand a certain way, make sure that it was like, you know, perfectly straight on my ankle. And then we looked at it over in the mirror. He had to adjust it a few times just to make sure it was perfectly straight. I went over to the mirror. I was like, okay, looks pretty good. Let's do it. Let's put the thing on me for real. And I was sitting the whole time. It only took about 15 minutes, probably not even. I asked and I said, I'm just curious how long this will take, because I was really nervous. And he was like, 15, 20 minutes. But I think it took more like 10 to 15 minutes. He did it very quickly. Like, he wasn't rushing, obviously, but he did a very good job of being very efficient in doing it. So I was sitting like kind of like this, and then my leg was out, obviously. I didn't film anything of him doing it. I could have. I was staring at it the whole time. I mean, I could have filmed. I could have had Vama film. I didn't want to, you know, like intrude and film them. I could have asked, of course. It was my first tattoo. If I end up getting any other ones, have any more experiences, I might try and film them in the future. Also, it was like a tiny tattoo. It's not like I was gonna do like a time lapse because it was pretty short. But yeah, he was amazing. He was like, okay, you know, just breathe, like you're a first timer, you know, you're gonna be okay. And yeah, he made me feel as comfortable as I could. I sweat a lot, but I also sweat a lot normally. So he did the first little line of the trunk and then asked, like, you know, is that good? And I was like, yeah, not as bad as I thought. Basically, it kind of felt like exactly what I thought. I know a lot of questions might be about pain. The ankle is a bit of a tender area, he said, but it's not the worst. And like I said, it only lasted 10 to 15 minutes. I would say pain rating would be like 5 or 6 out of 10, but keep in mind, like, I don't have any other tattoos to compare it to. Like, I'm sure, you know, your knee or the ribs is probably like an 8 or a 9, and maybe other areas like, you know, a more cushiony area like your arm might be like a 2 or 3 from what I've heard. But I feel like the ankle is bony enough where for me it was probably like a 5 or a 6, but it wasn't unbearable. I like didn't cry or anything. I was kind of wincing. There were certain lines or like my face was kind of scrunching up, and I had to really like focus on the pain. Like, I would look back at Vama occasionally. She was standing behind us, but I couldn't talk or anything. Like, I really had to kind of focus in on the pain and the lines. And the nice thing about the tattoo was that I could see him doing it. So I would look up and I'd be like, okay, half the tree's done. I'm halfway there. Oh, okay, 3/4 of the tree, you know, and then by the end he just did a few touch-up marks and it was on me. So I think he did a fantastic job. He had a very light hand, as people say. It really honestly was like not as bad as I thought, and I think I took it better than I thought I would, which afterwards I was like, ooh, I can see how people, you know, want to get more after they get their first one, because I didn't think it was as bad as I was expecting. Obviously the tattoo doesn't have any shading in it, and you know, that can obviously be a lot worse. It was just one needle and everything. But yeah, he did an amazing job. Shout out to Matt. If I ever go back there, I would definitely go back there for like another tattoo in the future. I would get it by him again or by any of their other artists. I think, you know, all their artists are pretty great, but he was amazing for a first timer for sure. After he was done, I walked over to the mirror and I looked at it, and I like almost started tearing up just because I have been imagining this idea in my head for so long, and actually seeing it on me and knowing it's gonna be there forever. I was like, oh my God, I just did that. Like, she's so beautiful. Like, he could not have done a better job. I will insert a photo, if I haven't already, of the final tattoo. This is what it looked like the night of. So as you can tell, like, it's red and it's, you know, it was healing. But I will insert a photo of what it looks like now, which is basically healed. It'll be 3 weeks in like 3 days from when I'm filming this, and that's like the time he said to stop cleaning it every day, you know, really washing it and everything. So this is what it looks like right now, which is basically healed. But yeah, I don't think he could have done a better job. It was exactly what I wanted. You know, I was brainstorming this idea for so long and looking at so many other evergreen tattoos that I was worried that they wouldn't be able to do my vision, or that what would come out I wouldn't love. It would be kind of more of a stick figure, but I feel like it's realistic enough, but still very simple, no shading, just a simple black, you know, black lines. Yeah, he did literally amazing. It's a very nice size. Like, it's big enough where you can tell what it is, but it's not super big, it's not too tiny. Like, I'm rambling, but I literally could not be happier with how it turned out. I love it so much. And I do have one more vlog clip to show you guys. This is just me right after, me and Vama outside, you know, just me saying I did it.
He's done.
We did it.
So happy for you.
I have sweating bullets, but it happened. So proud of myself.
So yeah, I was really excited. I was like so like in shock. We left the store and I was like, did I just do that? Like what just happened? Like, and everybody was so nice. The guy who was running the front desk was amazing too, and I forget his name, but they were all so sweet there. Many questions might be, will I get more tattoos in the future? You know, since this first one, I've really been pondering it, but the problem is it's not like I have like a huge list of ideas. You know, Vama has a bunch because she had a bunch of ideas that she was thinking of, or she's more impulsive than me, which is not a bad thing, but I'm just very still indecisive about these things. Like, I am pretty confident that I will love this tattoo for a long, long time, if not forever. But I do have other ideas I'm kind of bouncing around with in my head. But I think if I do get another one, it won't be for some time, because I like to solidify an idea, write things down, and then kind of revisit it like I did with this one in a year or 2 or 6 months or something, you know? And if I still like it, then I'll get it tattooed, which I've heard is a good thing to do. I'm not very impulsive with these kind of permanent bodily things, but I'm very proud of myself for getting through it, for getting through the pain. I hate needles, by the way. Everyone was like, you're not gonna get a tattoo. I think my parents literally didn't think we were actually gonna go through with it, or that I wouldn't. I think they thought I was gonna chicken out. I was afraid I was gonna chicken out, but Vama was like, I'm not letting that happen. Like, you're gonna go through it. And I did, and I'm really proud of myself. I'm afraid of needles, but tattoo needles don't scare me. I'm way more freaked out by medical stuff. Like, honestly, I saw him put the needle in the machine, and that was kind of scary. But once he gets started, it's just like a big vibrating pen. And by the way, I also wanted to mention, it feels basically like, everybody says this, but it feels like a vibrating cat scratch is like the best way to describe it. And I didn't come up with that. People have said that, and that's exactly what I thought it would feel like. And that's literally exactly what it was, just this big vibrating scratch pokey thing. So yeah, really wasn't that bad. I have a few other ideas, like I said, in my head, and maybe some other placements, I don't know. But I'm not opposed to getting more. I just want to make sure for me that they have significance. I'm definitely somebody that's very sentimental. I'd love to get one for my mom. I'd love to get one for my dad, or even with my dad, because he has tattoos. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I'm still young. I'm young and I'm ripe. So we got plenty of time if I want to get more tattoos. But yeah, I just really wanted to make a video talking about this because I'm really proud of myself. I really honestly never thought I would do something like this, and I'm glad I waited. Like, I'm glad I didn't do this when I was 18. I'm glad I gave it a few years. And yeah, it all went amazing. It was really fun to be able to do it in a city, because living in a city, there's so many talented tattoo artists here that I feel very fortunate to have been able to get one at a really reputable shop. One more thing I wanted to mention too is the price, just because I want to be transparent with you guys. He gave me an estimate, which I think originally the estimate he said would be $180, but then when we came back and I went to pay, it was $150, and then I added a $30 tip. So I ended up paying $180 including tip, which I am not complaining about. Vama was like, yeah, that's pretty standard, especially this shop minimum was $100, so I knew going into it I was going to be spending at least $100, probably like $120, $150, something in that range. And I think he did an amazing job. It's gonna be on me forever, so I think it was a great investment. No complaints. It was kind of like my last little summer gift to myself before school started. So very happy with how it turned out. And yeah, that's the story of my first tattoo. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any other questions about the process, feel free to leave them down below. I know this wasn't like a ginormous tattoo, but I thought I'd talk about it just because I'm really proud of myself that I went through it, and it means so much to me. Shout out to my Knuckle Puck boys, shout out to the environment, shout out to the song Evergreen, and me growing and continuing to blossom through my life. I love it. It means so much to me. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you guys liked it. Comment down below if you guys have any tattoos. If you guys have any tattoos for bands as well, let me know. I'm curious, or what your tattoos mean. And yeah, I will see you all in my next video. Bye.